Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into one of the most basic ideas in all of computer science, the list. I mean, it seems so simple, right? A grocery list, a to-do list, we use them every day. But what happens when that simple, flexible idea runs smack into the rigid reality of how computers' memory actually works? Well, as we're about to see, it creates a really fascinating fundamental problem that every single programmer has to solve. So let's just start with a simple question to get us going. I want you to think about your grocery list, or, that long queue of shows you've lined up to watch on Netflix. What's the one thing they both have in common? It's something so intuitive, so basic, we honestly don't even think about it. Yep, you guessed it. They're all lists. Just a simple, ordered collection of items one after the other. It's how we naturally organize information that has a sequence. And it turns out it's just as critical in the digital world. Okay, so let's get a little more specific here. When we as programmers talk about a list, what exactly do we mean? At its core, a list is just a collection of similar things. But here's the really crucial part. It's flexible. It's meant to be a living, breathing thing that can grow when we add stuff and shrink when we take stuff away. So what are the rules that give it this flexibility? So this slide, this is basically the dream. This is what we want our list to do. It keeps everything in order, and here's the magic part, you can supposedly just pluck an item out from any position or drop a new one in anywhere you feel like. It's the ultimate in organizational freedom. It's a programmer's wish list. And that whole idea of a wish list brings us to a really, really important concept in computer science. The idea of separating what we want something to do from how it actually gets it done. This is called an abstract data type, or ADT for short. The best way to think about it is like a blueprint for a car. The blueprint tells you, hey, this thing has a steering wheel, an accelerator, and brakes, and it tells you what they do. But it doesn't tell you if the engine is gas or electric. The ADT for a list is our blueprint. It's our list of demands, our wish list. So what's on that wish list? Well, it's pretty much what you'd expect. We need to be able to make a new list, stick an item in anywhere, delete an item from anywhere, grab an item, look for an item, and just, go through the whole thing from start to finish. This is the what. Now we got to figure out the how. All right, so how do we actually build this perfect, flexible list in our code? Well, the very first tool that almost every programmer reaches for is the array. And it makes total sense, right? An array is, by its very nature, a sequence of elements all stored together in memory. On the surface, it looks like the absolute perfect, ready-made container for our list. And the mapping is just beautiful. It's so simple. The first item on our list goes in the first slot of the array, the second item in the second slot, and so on. It's a clean one-to-one fit. It kind of seems like we've found the perfect solution. But have we? Yeah, because while an array looks perfect on paper, it's hiding a major, major drawback. There's a hidden cost that comes with all that amazing flexibility we put on our wish list. Remember our ADT, our blueprint? It said we can insert an item anywhere we want. And in our heads, that's easy. We just kind of imagine a space opening up and the new item sliding right in. But this is the reality. An array is a fixed, solid block of memory. To squeeze that new item in the middle, you have to physically move every single element after it one spot over. If you have a list with 1,000,000 items, you might have to do 1,000,000 shifts. Ouch. That is computationally expensive. And it's not just when you're adding things. This painful chain reaction happens in reverse when we want to take something out. To get rid of an item, you leave this empty hole. And to keep the array packed together, every single element after it has to be shifted one spot back to the left. Again, for a list that changes a lot, these costs add up incredibly fast. So here's the bottom line. The huge gap between our idea and the reality. The ADT, our wish list, promised us this amazing dynamic structure that's perfect for things that change all the time. But the array implementation gives us a rigid structure that's actually terrible for those very same changes, all because of that expensive shifting. The source material just says it perfectly. When you have a list where items are constantly being added and removed, using an array to build it is just flat out inefficient. Our obvious first choice has a fatal flaw. So this leads us to the big question. If the most intuitive solution, the one we all reach for first, the array, is fundamentally broken for this task, what do we do? How can we possibly build a list that can actually deliver on that promise of true, efficient flexibility? And that's the puzzle we're left with.
Arrays are like blocks of concrete. They're strong and sequential, but they are so rigid. What we really need is something more like a chain, where we can add or remove a link anywhere without having to rebuild the whole thing. The solution to this problem is one of the most elegant and powerful ideas in all of computer science, and it's exactly what we'll dive into next time.